Morning, everybody. We'll call the meeting of the Fiscal Court to order. Glad to see all of you here this morning. Have several guests here this morning, and we'll start with Mr. Henry Lockett. Henry, you're front and center.
All right. Always good to be first, I guess. I'm Henry Lockett. For those who don't know me, I live on Opal Lane, and I'm here with our second request to get that road paved. But this time I'm bringing money, so maybe it'll help. We've been meeting, I got 3 or 4 times, and we've met with a lot of the people here in front of me and talk about the road, try to get it paved, what was going to require to get it paved. And we finally come down to a cost it was going to cost us to get it paved, and we talked to everybody. Everybody has participated except 1 or 2. That one can't afford to pay the money it's going to take. Each individual one of us is putting out about a little over $9,000 a piece. I've got checks in hand for $110,769.24 to give to the county to get that road paved. And my request is that I'd like to present this to you guys and see where we at and what we need to do next and what it's going to take to get it done.
One of the things that came up, and I think you answered, there was something about a cul-de-sac, and you said the cul-de-sac's already there.
Yeah, we already got the turnaround there in the end. It's
Yeah.
already put in place. It's wide, it's big, and we've had concrete trucks come in there and turn around. We've had tractor trailers come in there and turn around, so it's.
Well, school buses could easily turn around.
I think a school bus could turn around. Now, I don't know what size school, they're getting bigger, so I don't know, like what, 40 foot long now? School bus, 42 foot, I don't know what.
Well, don't you? I don't know you.
I don't know, but they're short of that semi-truck.
Well, yeah, and we've had lots of those to come in because the building went on down there. We've had lots of houses built on that street since it was put in initially. That end of the road is in good shape. The rock on that end is good, the base is good. We only got a couple of places going to really need some help, and Russell's been out and looked at it. The state road guys have been out and looked at it. I think maybe Mr. Anderson's been out there and looked at the road. It's just an area that needs to be took care of. The mail carrier, matter of fact, I had to go to Calvary and talk to the mail post office mistress over there about continuing our mail, because at one time it was getting so rough that they wouldn't do that. Now Chuck Drawbridge, he's got a tractor and he's been keeping the road up for us. He's our utilitarian out there that takes care of our road at the moment, moving rock around so we can keep coming in and keep the mail to come in. So we don't want to lose our mail at each one of our houses, so we need to get that done. But I think overall the road itself is in easy repairable conditions at the moment. Of course, putting rock on it now, putting ditches in. A couple of places it really needs ditches because the water, stop the water from running across the road when big rains come. So, you want me to give this to you, Mr. Miller?
Terry, it's your district too.
Well, Judge, I'm unclear exactly where we are and what our options might be. I think we'd agreed to $120,000 cost, and that had been figured with the road superintendent, and I think they're about $9,000 short of that.
Yeah, we're a little over 9,000 short. We're $9,230.77 short.
We
with
talked,
expectation of that possibly coming in.
we had spoke about that a little bit yesterday and previously as well, and I was wondering, we talked about a few things. I was wanting to see if Jeff could enlighten us on exactly what maybe some options are that we could look at to a lien on properties, or what can we do?
Well, if the route they've chosen without creating this so-called taxing district, you can't put a lien on somebody's property unless they agree to it.
Right.
If the group out there wants to, finance that, and these folks agree to a lien, they could take a lien, and then the property would be subject to that lien. But that, that's the two ways, either by force or by agreement, in my understanding.
And Mr. Lovett, I hate to hold you up, but it's my understanding that I think the property in question is going to be, there's an agreement in the works
Yeah,
on,
it's Monty Collins' property.
Right,
Mine
right.
and Denise.
I think they told me
They own a
they,
house across the street from me, and they've got it up for sale. They've lost, I know of 3 sales on the house because of no road, of a gravel road. And these people just don't want to live on a gravel road. It's a nice home, and it is still under contract. They have a agreed upon price. Contract has been signed for that long, when they sell their house. So that's all we, and they, matter of fact, there was some people over there last night looking at it, and there was somebody coming in this morning to look at it, so.
so Jeff, is it possible to have the homeowners attach a lien to the property taxes, or does it have to be an individual? In other words, does it
Well,
have to be the new owner of the home?
It wouldn't have anything to do with the property taxes unless you create
The
the
taxing
taxing district.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Otherwise, it would just be a lien, like a lien that, where if you finance something and someone takes a mortgage on your property.
And then you still have 2 property owners on the road who are not contributing to this at all, but are going to benefit from it.
That's my understanding as well.
Is that correct?
Mr. Collins has indicated to you, I think that, if my understanding is right, that he is willing to pay the money whenever he can.
He's willing to pay the monies. And
He may have to sell the home
I've
first.
had conversations with him of late. I had the latest one yesterday afternoon, and I know that he's also had conversations with you in regards to that, but he indicated to me that if they got the house sold, he would pay us.
That's the reason makes me
I
think that
think
perhaps he
you're
might
saying
agree
that
to a
you're
lien,
gonna-
Jeff, if he agrees to pay
Right.
that when the house is sold, he might agree to a lien, because the house may not sell for, a few months maybe. Of course, we won't be able to blacktop the road till
Well, we're
April.
looking at springtime
Right.
to blacktop the road. However, there's some other things that need to be done. Rock needs to be put on the road, ditching and few, nothing major, but some minor work that needs to be done between now and spring. We've been talking about this, I think Ms. Williams and I talked, 2 years ago, Ladonia? 2 or 3 maybe, I don't know, but some time ago, as to what could be done, and I know the neighborhood has been working diligently toward this, trying to reach an agreement that they would pay according to our subdivision rules and regulations to get their road fixed. So we've come a long, long way. I want to do what's legal and right, but I also feel like the good faith effort that's been put forth by the neighbors there, the people that live on the road, have to count for something. But I'm like Terry, if we vary from our rules and regulations, then that opens the door to, several things. So, Jeff, what do you think legally we can do
Well,
to
what
make
I'd
this happen
suggest
for
at
these
this
people?
point, we need to, you're gonna have to go through, appoint the reviewers and have the public hearing and all that stuff to take this road in regardless. So I would suggest you go ahead and start that process, because we want to make sure that we've got I think your roadway has been platted. There was, and Anita, we've been researching this some, and there was an issue around the cul-de-sac, something we may have to clear up.
Most of the deeds are by meets and bounds. I don't know that.
Oh, you don't think there's a plat?
I don't know that there's a.
We may have to get some quitclaim deeds, but this would be the process we go through in getting, for this, in doing this formally. And I would suggest you go ahead and start that process.
So do you need a motion to start that process, and then from there, look at the financing once we get past the initial?
Right, I mean, you won't
steps?
vote until you have the public hearing,
Okay.
till after the public hearing anyway. That way you will know where, by that point in time, you should have all that before you, and you won't, if you wait, you could wait and do it, but then you're going to start that process anyway.
And does that also give them time to decide whether or not they'd like to create the homeowners
Yes,
association?
they
and then
can
offer
work
the
on that in the
financing
meantime.
to the one property owner that's
Right.
still kind of in limbo? I'd make a motion that we start that process.
Second.
Well, they filed a petition to have Opal Lane taken into the county
Yep.
road system. So your motion should be to accept that petition, start that formal process.
So moved.
You want me to continue to hold the monies?
Hold on just a minute. Do we get a second to that motion?
Yes,
We
second.
have a motion and second. Now, discussion. Henry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You want me to continue to hold the monies or until we,
Yes, yes. The motion and second is to set this for a public hearing on Opal Lane. I would like to set that for the 18th of December, which is the third Tuesday in November. Now, in December, normally, this is up to the court. We only have one court meeting in December. We can have two, it doesn't matter to me. But the second Tuesday will be the 18th, and I would like to set that at approximately 11 o'clock for Tuesday, the 18th. And appoint our road viewers, Russell York, Josh Tubbs, and Larry Jones, I believe, usually serves in that capacity, doesn't he, or? Bobby? Well, Bobby's out with a surgery, so I don't know. I think he'll be back by then. We'll go ahead and appoint Bobby, and then if he can't, we'll substitute him for somebody else. And I would like your written report prior to the 18th. And in the meantime, whatever arrangements can be made, Henry, with the other homeowners who have not opted not to participate, and hopefully we can persuade them, because I know a lot of the folks on this lane, that Opal Road, have gone to the bank, they've borrowed money in order to get this done, and I don't want to delay this any more than we have to. Of course, I realize that we can't pave it till spring. You and I have discussed that, Henry. But we do need to get the prep work
we
completed.
need to get the prep work done, we need to get the ditches in place.
Right.
And get the rock put on there, and stop one area that's going to wash even further if we don't get it done.
Yes.
And we can bring the rock in ourselves and do it kind of a maintenance ourselves. In some respects, some people have been doing that. But we need to move as quickly as possible to get this took care of. We're going to move. Good. I don't have much more pressure we can put on the people.
Sure.
Where we are now, but we'll work on that.
Jeff, if he finds that I'm thinking, I believe I know, he's going to find that his only option is going to be with Mr. Collins. And it looks like right now it'd be in the form of a lien, most likely, unless the home moves quickly. How would that transpire? Would that be a lien with, how would you do
If
that?
they, an agreed upon lien, yeah, it would just be a matter of, the.
Would they need to
a
see you
note,
about that?
Borrow the money, reflecting the money's owed, and then a document filed with the clerk showing that there's a lien reserved.
With that lien, if the house is sold and that lien, money comes available, would that be owed directly to the county?
No, that would flow through whoever. The county won't be financing it. Someone will, the homeowner association or someone would have to, and that would flow back through them to the county.
Mike? Okay.
Any other questions, Mr. Lockett?
No.
Thank you, Henry. Oh, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carried. Yes, sir.
I'm the first guy over on, first part of it, I bought it and built it, and I have a deed to it. no mortgage on the deed or whatever, somebody tell me what to do with the deed, I'll do that very thing. But that 100 yards or so, it's private property, mine. Of course, it has a open easement thing, but like I said, perfectly willing to give up that deed if you tell me where to give it to.
Right, yeah, for the right of way you're talking about, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking about the whole road.
Oh.
Off and built that road.
Oh, okay.
First part of it is mine, all the way across.
Oh,
Right away.
That's the first one.
That was before there was any road there. I built the house and built the road into it.
oh, I see what you're saying.
So I own the road. I don't own the right of way, I own the road.
Oh, okay, all right,
He doesn't own the total road, he owns the first entrance.
right,
It's up to my driveway.
Yes.
From that point on, somebody else's, but up to my driveway, I have a deed to it.
yes, sir.
And I'd be glad to get rid of that, so I pay taxes on it.
Yeah, 240 feet.
240 feet of it.
Okay,
But the other owners of properties own the rest of the road.
yes, yes. And would need to get,
need to
right away. Sign. Okay, all right, thank you. Sissy Womack. You're up.
See, I thought I was just gonna dump papers and not have to do anything.
No, that don't work that way, Sissy.
I'm a Realtor, and Samuel Drive is in the Palma area, and I think it's in Misty's district. And I found that this little road had been built to county specs when it was built, and the little guy that built it thought the county had taken it over because he had the county out there and built it to their specs, even curbing and the cul-de-sac per se. So basically, I petitioned the fiscal court to take it, and from what I understand, it's in compliance. It just needs to be inspected and voted on.
All right, that's Samuel Drive.
Samuel
Sissy.
Drive.
All right. All right. We would need to set that for a public hearing. What's your pleasure?
Make a motion to accept, to set up the public hearing and to see if we can accept that road into the system.
All right, you've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. We will appoint our road viewers. Mr. York, Mr. Tubbs, and Mr. Gifford. We'll set that hearing for 1:30 on December the 18th. Give us time to properly advertise, get our viewers' reports. Any other discussion?
Samuel Drive.
Samuel Drive.
Do I need to be back there then, because I won't be here?
No, but you can send, we'd just like a letter and maybe some of the people that live on it could be here, because all we ask, if anyone is to object or anyone is for county taking that in. So if you can't be here, if you could do it by letter, that's fine.
Okay, just basically, the letter needs to say what?
Well, that you were in favor of the county accepting Samuel Drive into the county road system.
Sissy, if you can't be here, would you mind explaining to people how this came about? Because this is actually my road, and I didn't ask for this.
No,
I
she
would-
says that even because of her position.
Right.
In the board. What happens is, and they already know this from their problem with this, if a county is a private road, a secondary market mortgage company won't touch it. Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, you can hang it up. So we've got taxpayers out here that are paying taxes and stuff and having a hard time selling their house. And an in-house loan, like if you just went and got a loan at the bank and they kept that, they will do that, it's no problem. But when you go to a secondary market mortgage for 30 years, you've either got to have an agreement, road agreement above all, or it's got to be a public road, or they won't touch it. So that's what's going on with Monty's house. His is worse off than ours, at least ours is paid. So that's the reason I started this, because I've got the house on the corner for sale. And in fact, we've got a agreed upon contract, and I had them, because they have what they call an equitable interest already by having an agreed upon contract, I had them join in on this petition as well, since they will probably be the owners of the house by the time the fiscal court makes their decision.
Okay,
Which I'll recuse myself from.
Any other discussion? Being none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no.
I
Motion
recuse.
carries. Josh?
Thanks, Judge. The last fiscal court meeting, came to you guys about the Walker Chemical expansion in Calvert City, and our office has been working with the Economic Development Cabinet. One of the added incentives to this project for Walker was an economic development bond grant from the cabinet. The grant would be for per job, however many jobs the company created and their capital investment, which came around to about $170,000, not about at $170,000. The issue with the grant is that they can't just grant the company the $170,000. It has to go through the local government entity. So I've been in touch with the cabinet. They've asked that I talk with the fiscal court and get you guys to take action on accepting the economic development grant for Walker Chemical, and then the county would grant those funds to Walker. Now,
As the jobs
yes,
are created.
yes, if the jobs are not created, the capital investment does not happen, those funds are retained by the local government and have to be used for an economic development related project. So should Walker say we're not going to do the job, then the county has only gained $170,000 to use for economic development, so.
Well, it's a win-win for the county, and of course, it could be another incentive for Walker to follow through with their plans for about a $60 million investment into our community. And certainly with 15 jobs that will be coming with it, we're certainly in support of it. So what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve accepting those pass-through funds, I guess. Administering that, I guess, is what we'd be doing.
Yes.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
Well, it's that time of the year, folks. Next, a week from Friday, we'll be lighting up the park. I've asked Paul, Kathy, and Becky Cornwell to be with us this morning. Of course, Paul started this tradition. How many years ago, Paul? 15?
Well, this will be the 15th.
This will be the 15th. You had it at your house 2 years prior to that, so actually this will be 17 years that we've been doing this for Needline. I want to thank the folks at the Marshall County Park, all of our employees there jumping in and helping. This is Paul's Light Show, been doing it for, like I said, all these years. Becky, give me a little report on what we've done over the years, you and Paul. I know Paul's got a big speech he wants to make, but he told me, he said, I'd rather not speak, but if
I've got you all some numbers that you can look at. It's always better if you look at them. I can ramble them all day long, but it makes more sense if you've got a piece of paper in your hand. This will be our 13th year at the Mike Miller Park. As you said earlier, Judge, the light show was created at Paul's house 2 years prior to that, in 1998. He ran it for 2 years out of his garage, and the rescue squad came out and directed traffic off of 68, and it was a huge traffic hazard. And when they started building the park out here, Paul Cathy came to me and asked me what I thought about moving the light show to the park. And I told him I thought it'd be a really neat idea. And he said, well, we could just grow more each year, and that we have. It's been awesome. We started with Paul Cathy and Gary Travis, and then we went with Shane Jaco joined the team. Of course, all the guys at the park out there have been part of it every year. And the first year, we only had 10 nights out there. And we raised 1,827 food items and $3,694 in cash. And we thought we were just topping cotton. Man, it was just awesome. We couldn't believe anything could get any better. Last year really topped it. I was really dreading last year, thinking the economy being down and our load being so heavy at the office and so much demand on our services. But last year just really topped it all, and I'm anxious to see what this year brings. Last year, we raised $50,842 and over almost 31,000 food items. That's a lot of food items, but those items last us until the spring when the food drives start again, because we have our postal food drive, and then a lot of our scout troops and schools create one for the spring as well. And this time of year, everybody remembers everybody at the holidays. Everybody's in the giving spirit. It makes a big difference. But then these items that from the light show carry us through the first of the year when that giving thought is past and everybody's back in their little rut again. So we really appreciate Paul. And if it wasn't for Paul, Kathy, and this light show through the Mike Miller Park, Marshall County Needline couldn't exist. There's no way. I feel deep down in my heart that that's a huge chunk of our budget, and it helps so much on our food bank and our families.
As you can see on the vehicle count, the Department of Transportation has been very good to put traffic counts out there for us each year, so we'll have,
Maybe 3 years since we started.
yeah, and give us a total of the amount of traffic that comes through. And we have church buses from Tennessee all the way to Madisonville, Muhlenberg County, come through the park. So it's just a great thing, and we really appreciate it. Now, let me say this, we need help. Every night that we're out there, we have different service and civic organizations, the Lions and others, that come out and help, and they'll volunteer to send so many people, because we go from sundown till about 10 o'clock, right, Beck?
5 to 10
5
nightly.
to 10. So if any of you, your church group, your civic group, school groups, we have school groups, kids come out and help us, give out candy and accept the food items, and you stay busy, let me tell you. I work it every year, and it's fun, but it's work. So
Time goes by good, though.
it does, so if you have a group that would be interested in participating, just call Becky. They're in Needline, she'll set a time. The lights will be on every night through New Year's Eve. And so Santa is gonna have Santa House this year.
Santa will be there 4 weekends. He'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 16th of December will be his last weekend there.
Okay.
And we still are looking for Santas out there. So if you know
Okay.
anybody that'd like to wear the Santa suit, and I guarantee they'll receive blessings that night.
I think Russell York would make a very
I
good
was
Santa.
looking at Russell, and I thought, that's probably why the sheriff's not here, too.
Yeah,
Make motion, Judge, send him out there one time.
yeah. All right, Paul, we said it all, or?
Well, yeah, basically, I mean, I'm just, I look at these figures and it's just almost hard to believe, but, you know, it's been some good years.
Yeah,
Pretty good years.
absolutely, absolutely. Yes,
I'm proud of what I got started now.
yeah.
Very proud.
I just want to throw in my 2 little cents worth. I'm currently the chairman of the Needline Board, and without caring people like Paul, Kathy, and Becky, and the rest of our volunteers, like she said, it would not be possible to help the people that we need to help, and heartfelt thanks go out to everybody, especially.
Thank you.
Judge, when we have days like we did yesterday, and we were going strong, our office is open from 9 until noon, and we were going strong at 8:45 yesterday morning, working families through that office. We did not let up until 12:30. We had over 53 homes that we assisted in that little over 3 hours yesterday. And it
Thank
makes a
y'all so much.
difference.
Thank y'all so much. Look forward to being out there with you.
Thank you, Judge.
By the way, while we're on that subject, I want to say a word of thanks to the Draftonville Lions. They have been helping Needline. They've been helping in other areas as well. Marcella's Kitchen. Ray, give me a little recap on what you've done just in the last few weeks. Yeah. Yeah, stand up.
Everybody hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. The Lion Clubs hold bingo the first and third of each month, and that's where we collect our money. And their donations this year, just this year now, Need Line $1,600. Marcella's Kitchen $500. Family Home, at somebody in the county's home burnt and they didn't have insurance or nothing, and they got $500. Telethon $2,624. And fans, I don't have the total on this. On the Beat the Heat, we donated fans. Exceptional School, we donate to that. Kentucky Eye Foundation, we donate to that. Camp Vicento, we donate to that. Boys Ranch, Rescue Squad, we bought 22 pair of glasses this year alone. And numerous, national disasters we've killed too. And we got Coach for Kids and Toys for Tots. And we're also involved in the flood and the tornado and donation. So, our money goes out. We don't nobody out there get a dime out of it. We don't even get a Coca-Cola out of it. But that's what we're there for. And our motto, we serve. And that's for the whole county. It's not only Graftonville, but the whole county. That's all that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray. I knew they've been working very diligently, and you have volunteers that do the bingo, and it's all volunteer work, and we certainly.
We're planning on having Santa Claus out there for it.
All right.
He's there to help you all out.
All right. Tom Lyons, come on up.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, see y'all.
Good morning. My name is Tom Lyons, and I'm requesting a sore spot. I lived in Henderson, Kentucky for 18 years. I was on the sheriff's department, and I retired from there and moved down, bought a house down here. We had been camping here and fell in love with the place and decided this is where we wanted to retire. And along those lines, I've read a couple of articles in the paper over the past couple of years about the constables, which kind of aggravates me a little bit. And I find out that there is an opening in District 2. And what I would like to do is apply for that position, for the rest of its term until the election comes up. I don't want a red light, a blue light. I don't want a radio. We had 7 constables in Henderson, and we had trouble with one that got in the way all the time. So it's a situation that I know the limits. I know what you can do and what you can't do, and the other thing is you have no insurance out there. You can be sued for false arrest, you can be sued for anything. So it's a situation that I'd like to fill a position for visibility in my area, but I have no intentions of going out and patrolling the streets. And I have no intentions of getting written up in the newspaper about what you're doing or what you're not doing for us.
And you served how many years did you say on the sheriff's department? Up 18?
No, not quite 18, but I had 12 years of harbor patrol in Massachusetts. I don't have an accent. And
I knew you didn't sound like Sandy Lee, Tom, but I'll let.
Sandy Lee was my best friend. He really
I know.
was. I miss him tremendously.
Now, which sheriff, you served under a couple of sheriffs up there?
Dennis Cleary.
Dennis? Okay.
Yeah. Then when Ed Brady came in, I went out. And the reason I went out is I had double kidney surgery. And when the doctor says, okay, in 2 weeks you can go back to work, I knew I couldn't, so I put in for my retirement.
Now, Ed, you worked with Ed, I guess, when you were chief of police there.
No, he was the police chief. I was in the sheriff's department.
Right, I mean, you knew Ed, that's what I'm
I
saying.
barely knew him. We
Yeah.
didn't have much to do with the city police department as far as deputies go. The administration did, but
Yeah.
we didn't. I'd run in the barber shop once in a while. and,
Sure.
You know, that was it. But Dennis is he was sheriff for over 20 years. And he's got a summer house in Shawnee.
Mhm.
And we get together every year and
Yeah.
have a cookout and such. But I'm not interested in going out making like I'm a cop.
I understand.
And in the area I live in, during the summertime, we have a very large population. And in a case like that, Larry Hellcamp has got a big organization down there. And so it would be a case of visibility, knowing that there is somebody there kind of, you know, gives them an idea, hey, listen, we got to behave ourselves. I also talked to Kevin Byers, and I have his blessings. Of course, it's not up to him, but I did check with him first, too.
Okay. All right, any questions of Tom? Then what's your pleasure?
Is it just an appointment?
I don't know.
Judge, someone has a question, I think.
Yeah, yes. Excuse me, Larry.
Thank you. I'm Larry Hellcat, I'm from the company, and up until last year, we had a pretty full campground, kind of skinny now, with the TV. But the need for having some security on site, visibility that Tom described, is wonderful for us. Now, he's worked for me without pay. Sounds like a constable job to me. No insurance. And the only authority he has is what I give him. And that essentially is stop the speeders, stop the drinking, public drinking where they're falling out of the golf carts, doing things like that. Now, that's not the kind of place I run, but occasionally that's the kind of thing that happens. And it's been a wonderful change, just having Tom there, and said, who's this guy? And I said, well, he's my director of security. So, is that the last title that we used for you?
Yeah, I think that's.
Well, that's a good one. We'll keep that. And so any official recognition beyond what I can give is what I'm supporting.
Jeff, when someone steps out of an elected position like that, what's the official
My,
process?
without having looked at it, I believe, I would have to look the statute to be certain, but I believe that the court would, upon nomination, the court would, if you appoint someone, they would fill that term. But, because I know that from my own experience, that's when I was appointed. But unless there's a different rule for the constables, which I haven't read, and I would have to take a quick look at that, and I could tell you for sure.
Did no one run for that office, Terry?
I don't think so.
I don't think they did. I think that was an
I
opening.
think Jimmy Tubbs had previously.
Right, and he didn't seek.
He didn't. I don't know how long it'd been.
I also realize that the state may do away with the job,
Well, that
But-
would have to be a constitutional amendment. That
but I
would be
kind
up
of
to
doubt it
voters.
because of the small towns. So
Yeah, I mean, this has
it's
been
going to be
talked
a
about,
problem.
this has been talked about for some time, placing the issue on the ballot, because it would take an act of the legislature, first of all, to put it on the ballot, and then for the people to decide whether or not they wanted to retain the office of
Right.
constable. So,
But I can guarantee you
Yeah.
that if you do appoint me to fill in the term, you won't see me in the newspaper.
Terry?
I would feel better if Jeff researched that and gave us a response before we vote.
All right.
Whether it be today, or if we need to table it and go to the next meeting, or whatever he would prefer.
I could run down and look at it while you're going through correspondence if you want.
Or we can, or we've got some other, whatever you want to do. I mean, we could table this till the next meeting, give you a.
That'd probably be,
ample
we'll
time
just
to
do it on the
research
18th.
Make a motion to table it to the next meeting, Judge.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
And I feel certain that that's it. I just want to be
Second.
sure.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We'll be back to the next court meeting. And again, normally, Tom, we have one court meeting in December, instead of two. Normally, we meet first and third. Unless something, big comes up, we're gonna meet one time in December, which will be the 18th.
18th.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm retired, so that's no problem.
Okay. All right, Tom. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else here to address the court? All right, let's move into correspondence. Josh, let me pick your brain just for a minute. I got your email, and I think you sent it to the rest of the court. This is in regard to economic development activities. I'll just read part of this. In an effort to become even more competitive in economic development, many counties, communities, McCracken County being the most recent in western Kentucky, are pursuing the Work-Ready Community Certification. The Economic Development Cabinet recognizes this designation and uses it when working with companies on site selection. Marshall County's workforce is without a doubt one of the most skilled and trainable in Kentucky. The designation is something we need to consider working toward to up our competitive value within the Commonwealth. This takes a coordinated effort. I'm not sure what all it entails, but I know you're proposing a meeting to look at taking the initial steps for this designation. You
Yes.
want to elaborate just a little on that?
Yeah, Judge, this certification is fairly new. I'm working with Mary Ann Medlock at the PAD office on this. McCracken County was one of the first counties in West Kentucky to receive the application process, and there's about a 3-step process to get this certification. But basically what it does is it allows the Cabinet for Economic Development, when they are marketing sites in Kentucky, this work-ready certification is just one more tool that can be used to attract a company to the area. Now, for any company that visits Calvert City, obviously when they drive through the industrial complex, they can tell that we have a very work-ready workforce, without a doubt. But having this certification will just put us in one more tier, Judge. You know, there's electricity, water, available buildings, available sites, and then there's the workforce, which is usually the most important. So with that said, this certification, it's still very new to me. It will take a community effort. We're going to have to form a committee that's going to be able to, we're going to just kind of delegate responsibilities out to fill this application out and get it ready to send to the state. Now, it is a very in-depth process. It's not one of those situations where you fill the application out and the state stamps it. I mean, it goes to a review committee. That review committee comes back with questions. I think it would be worth our while because of the kind of workforce we do have in Calvert City. I think it would really put us in a really high tier as far as, when it comes to the work-ready certification and what the cabinet might be able to do with it. So, again, in the very infantile stages, but it's something we should really consider. I think the Chamber of Commerce is going to be involved. The school district will have to be involved. There's some educational things. Obviously, our local officials. So if any of you can come to the meeting, it would be helpful to get your feedback. I'm not an expert on it, Judge. I know it's something we need to probably work toward. Several counties throughout the state are looking at this. Some will have more success than others because of the kind of workforce that we have. So So anyway, that's really it. And Judge, you'll have to forgive me, I don't know what the date I said on that meeting. Is it on that?
The date's
Yeah,
on there,
I
but I
believe
didn't see
it's,
a time.
Pardon?
I said the date's on there,
I
but I
didn't put
didn't
the
see it.
time. We're gonna do it 10 a.m.,
10.
10 o'clock. I failed to put that in there,
The
and
date was December the 12th,
December 12th.
here in the fiscal courtroom.
Yes, December 12th at 10 o'clock. So if you all can come, I think it would be helpful. I'm going to have Mary Ann Medlock here, and we're going to be really relying on her to walk us through the process of establishing the committee. Again, the demographics of the committee need to be very diverse. So I think it's something we'll have a lot of success in. So that's about it, Judge.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, sir.
Also in correspondence, Marcella's Kitchen will be serving their annual Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day from 11 to 1 out at the Lions Club building in Graftonville. Had a big turnout last year, looking for a big turnout this year. So hopefully they'll get a lot of help from volunteers. They always need it, so keep that in mind. From the Department of Corrections, as mandated by KRS 441064, the Department of Corrections inspects jails at least twice a year. The first inspection of the Marshall County Restricted Custody Center occurred on March the 7th, and copies of the report are available and have been mailed to you. During the jail service specialist's second inspection, conducted on November 7th, 2012, no items of noncompliance were noted. This is from Jeff Burton, the Director of the Division of Local Facilities. From the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce, preparations are underway for the Chamber's upcoming annual dinner, which will be held in January. Despite the icy weather last year, we had a great time, and you guys helped make it a success by stepping up and being one of the dinner sponsors. We greatly appreciate that and are contacting you now to see if you'd be willing to sponsor again. Last year, I believe was $500. We were a gold sponsor, or silver sponsor, for $500. They're asking that we do that again. What's your pleasure?
Is that one of the budget items that we allocated? I don't remember it being one.
I did look up how much was in memberships and dues and things like that. That's where that would come from, and there was, I don't remember the number right offhand, but it was probably in the $4,000 range. There was.
That's budgeted?
Yes.
Do you know offhand if there's anything else that's gonna be upcoming that?
Most of your dues come due in July. So without looking into it a little bit more as to what we did last year from here on out.
Most of your association
sure.
dues, like magistrates and commissioners, judges, executive association, CAECO, NACO, and those type things, we usually get those in July.
Yeah, they're fiscal.
And I think we've covered all those up to this point.
If you all have a executive session or anything like that, I can look at that while.
I wanted to look it up and just see what's upcoming.
We should.
I think so too. Yeah, would you mind doing that?
No.
Okay, we'll move on. The Kentucky Emergency Management is in the process of updating the Commonwealth's Hazard Mitigation Plan. This plan is required by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, for Kentucky to receive mitigation project funding. Kentucky is designated by FEMA as one of only 10 states nationwide to have enhanced mitigation program. This designation provides the Commonwealth with an additional 5% of funding as compared to non-enhanced state programs. Mitigation grants are awarded statewide for projects which will eliminate or lessen damages from future disaster events. Past grants have included funding projects such as warning sirens, drainage projects, acquisition of repetitively flooded properties, tornado safe rooms, and emergency generators. Since 2008, over $170 million in FEMA mitigation funds have been distributed across Kentucky. To ensure continuation of this important program, FEMA requires the Kentucky Emergency Management Office to meet with local officials and other leaders to identify local hazard risk and hazards and identify future projects which might mitigate those risks and hazards. A meeting is scheduled at the Purchase Area Development District office on November the 26th. That is a week from, well, it's next Monday, I guess. Next Monday at the ad office from 1 till 4:30. I believe General Heltzel will be present at that meeting. Of course, we will have representatives there, but if any of you can go, they also have a little questionnaire that we'll make copies for each of you. What hazards affect your area the most? Floods, tornadoes, wildfires, how often these hazards occur, how much damage do these hazards typically cause, that sort of thing. So it should be a rather interesting meeting. So if you plan to attend, let Melissa know, because they will kind of like to know over at the ad district how many people that will be attending. All right, each of you have received the minutes of the November 7th, 2012 meeting of the Fiscal Court. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes of the meeting?
Motion approved, Judge.
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. The county building and electrical inspector, there's been some confusion. I guess Wendy's been working with the folks at the state level, and after talking with Emily about Mr. Spear's status as an employee or a contractor, it is her opinion that he needs to be an employee. And we tabled this action in last court meeting, so we need to amend the agreement to say that he is an employee.
Which is exactly what he has been for several years, according to Emily. It was just not, the state wants it in writing through a fiscal court meeting and a signed contract. So nothing will actually change, it's just a formality from the state.
All right, so we need a motion saying that Larry Cat Spears is employed by the Marshall County Fiscal Court as an employee.
Do you have a memorandum? You should have a copy of the memorandum.
All right, here it is, okay. Whereas KRS 198B-060 requires county government to either employ or contract with a state certified electrical inspector. Whereas the Marshall County Fiscal Court desires to comply with KRS 198B-060. Whereas Larry Cat Spears is a state certified electrical inspector. Now therefore, in consideration of the mutual and reciprocal obligations below, both parties hereby agree that, and I guess we date this as of today's date, the 20th day of November 2012 for a period of 1 year thereafter. County hereby employs inspector to perform any and all electrical inspections on buildings and or structures within Marshall County, Kentucky as required by law. The county adopts the fee schedule attached, which is hereby made part of this memorandum of agreement. The fee schedule has not changed. This memorandum of agreement is subject to renewal on an annual basis, with the fee schedule also subject to modification at renewal. This memorandum of agreement may be terminated by either party with or without cause by 30 days advance written notice. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve the amendment.
Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. And we'll need a copy of that. Larry needs to sign this as well. The UK, what? All right, the UK Mobile Dental Clinic, we have been trying to sort all this out because UK said that the health department could not pay that $10,000 because they didn't have a memorandum of agreement or a memorandum of understanding with the University of Kentucky Dental School. Well, we've looked to see if we had one. Did we find one, Mel? We did not, did we?
Did not find one.
We've been doing this for years. And I guess now they're saying, well, health department will let you do it next year, which means it falls back to us to pay for this year. But we have found no memorandum of agreement they have ever asked for one. But now they're telling the health department they gotta have one. I'm not sure what's going on. Mel, you've talked with them.
Well, when I talked to Lucetta Whitworth the other day about this, she said that she wasn't sure if a memorandum of agreement was actually required when we started doing this years ago. But they had approved it, the health department, or the health board had approved payment for 11/12 on, I believe it was June 27th. Well, by the time they got all that in, it was after the fiscal year, and the state people that control the health department said, well, you can't pay for that without the memorandum of agreement, but you can pay for this year, but you can't pay for last year, so it's basically gonna be a wash either way. But they have been letting the county pay it for years
With
without
no-
an agreement,
No agreement.
but then, I don't know.
So Emily, where do we shift the money from?
Um,
I mean, because it's a debt that's owed, it's not optional, is that my understanding? The services have
It
already been
does-
rendered?
I can, there are some in reserves that we can shift it from there, however, I know that's one of our last resorts that we like to look at. While I'm looking, if you all have an executive session or something, while I'm looking into, the chamber issue, I can look for
Okay.
some line items that maybe we can show up at that.
Okay.
All right. I would ask that we go into, I've got two items for executive session. One is personnel and one is for some right-of-way acquisition that the state, I've just put some things in your box. I don't know if you got them before you came up here. I think I told Terry about it, but I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go executive session.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. We'll try to be brief. Call the meeting back into regular session. We had a couple of items to go over. One, Florence and Hutchinson, who is the consulting engineers on the widening of the highway between, well, across from CVS and the new Shell station, all the way out to the Parkway, 348, are gonna need some right-of-way from the county. The most they will need will be temporary easements, but there is a section that they're making an offer on our property, and this is just the first offer, and I've given copies to everybody and want y'all to consider it. Jeff and myself and Sheriff Byers, Roger Ford, and Judge Telly met with Darwin Belt, who was with Florence and Hutchinson yesterday. And apparently they're gonna have sidewalks on both sides of the road, all the way out to Walmart and down the other side of the post office, which will be a nice addition. But it's gonna take quite a bit of right-of-way from different property owners down through there. But this is what they have given to us, so I'd like for y'all to consider that between now and the next meeting. We don't have to give an answer right away. We can negotiate, up or down. Up mainly. I don't go down any, but we can negotiate. Also, on their position for assistant dog warden and a weekend warden, we've got several applications, and I've asked the court to review those applications, and we'll make a decision at our next regular meeting of the fiscal court. Let's go into new business. We have our animal shelter report. This is for October. Animals in the pen as of September 30th was 79. Animals brought in by wardens, 46. Animals brought in by citizens, 42. So we had a total of 88 animals brought in, 48 dogs, 9 cats, 25 puppies, and 6 kittens. We've adopted 102, have 6 in foster care. Animals reclaimed 10. Animals euthanized 6. Animals in the pen as of 31 October, and in foster care was 55. Our donations were $2,776.44. Adoption fees, $1,570. Total money received, $4,346.44. Still getting a lot of animals brought in. It's slowing down just a little bit, particularly on the kittens. I guess it's the time of the year, but.
And maybe the fees. Maybe the fees.
Well,
Yeah,
people have been
that's true.
paying them too.
But anyway, our staff is doing a tremendous job. We appreciate their efforts. Our holiday schedule for calendar year 2013, we try to go by the state schedule, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is Monday, January the 21st. Good Friday, a half a day, which is Friday, March 29th. Tater Day, which should be a national holiday, but it's only for here, April the 1st. Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th. Independence Day, Thursday, July the 4th. Labor Day, Monday, September the 2nd. Veterans Day, Monday, November the 11th. Thanksgiving, Thursday and Friday, November the 28th and 29th. Christmas, Tuesday and Wednesday, December 24th and 25th. And New Year's, Wednesday, Tuesday, December 31st, and Wednesday, January the 1st. This is pretty much going along, well, it is going along with the state holiday schedule, but I would entertain a motion to approve our holiday schedule for the year 2013.
Motion approved, Judge.
I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Last meeting day, we had a personnel committee hearing on a county employee who had been terminated by action of the court. He asked for a hearing. We had the hearing. So I had to inform him of the decision of the court within 5 days, so that did not give us time. Although the court had already voted to terminate this individual, I would entertain a motion to uphold your previous termination.
Make a motion, Judge.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. I talked with Commissioner Anderson. I got a request from a citizen out of the Bear Creek Day-Use Park area, asking that a security light be placed down at the picnic area. We have one up in the parking lot, but it's real dark down in the area where the picnic shelter is located. And a lot of people use that for picnics and church functions and those type things. Terry, I can't remember the exact amount, but it was $200 and something, wasn't it? I told
Initially, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your pleasure on putting that security light there at the Bear Creek Day-Use Park?
The motion we put the light up, Judge.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We've also had some individuals contact us about the boat ramp and dock there at the Day-Use Park. We can improve that parking area, very limited effort in it. We looked at it, and we can do that without any problem. Now, what is suggested is we turn the boat ramp so that will accommodate more than one. The way it is, it's only one. And we can, and moving it around, I had Russell contact, tell me who, Russell?
Jim McNeely.
Jim McNeely, who does this type thing, and he can do it. Give me the number again.
800 for moving the dock around. He also said it needs a little bit more attention to the dock. Needs new bumpers put on it. He said he'd, let the county have the bumpers for what he's got in them. He just charged the labor, $1,100 for replacing the bumpers and stuff.
So a total of $1,900?
Yes.
$1,900. And after Russell and I went out and looked at it, I can see where the boat owners and users of that courtesy dock are talking about. If you turn it, you can pull in two different places instead of just one. Now, the way it's turned, you can only use it for one boat at a time. So it would accommodate and help speed up the process of launching and retrieving our boats. But it will be an expenditure of $1,900. I would recommend that we do it. What's your pleasure?
Where are we taking the money from? Emily, do you know?
Well, that's what I was looking at. The day-use parks maintenance, that would be where I would take it from. There's $15,000 in there, allocated right now. However, that is also where we take the mowing contract money out of. So if we had to start mowing, depending on how those bids come in, and if they come in higher, if they're $4,000 a month and we start mowing in March, we're already short $1,000 there, so. And that's something that we can't anticipate right now, so.
Is this something that needs to be done now, Judge, or is it something that could wait till spring? I'm not sure about the level of usage in the off months.
Well, now's the time to do it, when you don't have as much boat traffic and the water's low. Winter pool. So, springtime, that's when that would be a terrible time to do it, when the crappies are beginning to bite and people are coming in and using it. So, between now and, I'm gonna say February, would be the time, Commissioner Drew, to do it.
Well, we're still debating over the issue with the dental services. And did you find something out about that, Emily?
Yeah.
So we're gonna start, makes that 10 now 12.
Yeah.
Well, I've come up with, I looked at our wellness program. We've sent out our wellness incentives for those that completed the program and looked at what other additional expenses we'll have with that for the rest of the year. And I think we can afford to move $5,000 out of that into the service group contributions. Also, after looking at membership dues, last year we had about $4,600. If we have those same dues, would be additional out of, we have $10,000 free in membership dues. If we paid out those $4,600 just like last year, and they look like their regular expenses, and to the chamber, that would leave, $5,100 there. And I was proposing that we use $4,500 of that. That would leave $600 in there for flexible if we get something new in or something like that. $4,500 that's left out of membership dues to go in to cover this dental expense. There's an existing $400 in the service group contribution account that is, has not been appropriated. There's $3,400 in there actually, and $3,000 of it I felt like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was under your understanding that that was to go to Family Week?
I think Family Week and, have we contributed to Hoop Festival?
Yes, Hoop Fest has already been done. So that leaves $400 there, and then the additional 100, we've already paid our state fire protection fee for the year. So I can, and that has $454 left in it, so I can move $100 out of that to come up with the $10,000 for the dental, to not touch reserves.
What are you gonna do?
Well, we could go ahead and then, I mean, we're covering ourselves on the mowing really and starting
Yeah, I
the
mean,
whole
if
month
we
of
only-
March. It's unlikely that
Right,
we'll
if
be
we-
mowing the whole month of March.
Yeah, if they come in at 4,000 and we just have to do April, May, June, we're only at 12,000, and so we've got 3,000 there that's free.
I would think you could take it out of that. I mean, we'll still be fine. Certainly, we do have, fishing tournaments and, you know, they go out of there. And it certainly, it'd just be an accommodation for them. It'd keep them coming in there a little better. They can go other places. There are other places on the lake where they can go out of.
Make sure we can pay it, though. I don't have any objection at all. I'd make a motion we do so as long as we can articulate that we can make the payment.
All right, we have a motion to approve the changes at Bear Creek Ramp and Dock. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Let's back up to the UK Dental. Do I hear a motion to approve that payment?
Motion to approve that payment.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Intra-fund transfers, well, no, accounts receivable, Emily.
I usually don't do two of these reports in 1 month, but I felt like I should. We received a large payment from the sheriff for his payroll. It was almost $450,000, so I wanted the record to reflect that the sheriff now owes $179,029.38, as of yesterday.
County attorney, $7,772.25.
Yes.
Which is a total of $186,801.63. Accounts receivable. Do I hear a motion to approve the accounts receivable report?
Make that motion, Judge.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now let's move to intra-fund transfer.
Due to that payment from the sheriff, I'm able to repay the loan that the Occupational Tax Administrator Fund had made to the payroll fund to cover some of the sheriff's payroll expenses. So, I'm asking for a motion to move that $200,000 out of the payroll fund back into the Occupational Tax Administrator Fund.
You've heard the request. What's your pleasure?
Make that motion, Judge.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. It's my understanding that the refuse department has repaid their loan that
Yes.
you made to them. So
Yes.
that has been covered. All right, anything else?
Yes, Judge, if I can go ahead and, this is new in us approving the UK dental expense.
Right.
If this appropriation transfer, if pulling it from those accounts that I had stated would be acceptable, I make ask for a motion to approve that transfer request.
I started to say, when did you start making motions? I mean, I guess the court would agree to that if y'all want me to make a motion.
Let me make a motion for it.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll use those appropriations as stated.
We have a motion by Bob. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? And none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Folks, it's not gonna be long, till we'll be having our Dickens Christmas, on the square here in Benton, Festival and Parade. We're gonna start, and I'd like for the court members, if you could be here, at 4:30, and we'll have the, lighting of the green. And then at 4:30, right after that, the Marshall County Choir will be performing on the courthouse steps. At 5:15, there will be the parade. The Grand Marshal is the Marshall County Arts Commission, and then Dickens Alley. And other activities will be open after the parade. The Benton Women's Club are hosting a chili supper. The pig roast, again, by Magic Valley Barbecue. They'll have a live nativity scene with animals put on by the First Missionary Baptist Church. Horse carriage ride sponsored by Puckett Jewelry, and children's train ride sponsored by the City of Benton. So that's all going to take place on the 8th of December, just right around the corner. So kind of mark your calendars if you guys could be here at 4:30. All right. You've had an opportunity to review the bills.
Motion to pay the bills,
We have a
Judge.
motion to pay the bills. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Any other business come before the court?
Judge, I just had one correction in the minutes that I noticed
Oh,
earlier.
wait a minute, you've done past that. You
I
can't
know,
correct
I
anymore.
know, but it
Wait-
says.
Wait a minute,
it-
hold on, let me
on
get
the
it.
last one, it says salary,
See where we are. Oh, okay, on the one we just
Yeah, just-
temporarily hired Jimmy, and that's the only one.
Right, that was the only one.
Okay, I didn't even notice that. Missy, thank you, I didn't know it either. That's correction. Any other business?
Judge, I have, Adam, I just need
Now, wait a minute, you've been quiet all this time.
And I bring up one thing at the very
Okay,
end.
all right.
I just need the judge's approval signature for the sheriff's bond for advance fees.
This is a bond from the Ohio Casualty Insurance Company for Kevin, Sheriff Kevin Byers, in order to get his advancement from the state of Kentucky, and I believe that's $120,000 is the advance, is that correct?
I
Somewhere
believe
in
that's
that
right,
neighborhood,
Judge,
that's-
somewhere.
Yeah. So I would need approval of the bond for Sheriff Byers. Do I hear a motion?
Motion approved, Judge.
Have a motion, is there a second? Motion and second, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. You need, just make sure she gets a copy of this to put in that record. Okay. Good enough. Any other business come before the court? Oh, excuse me, we table that chamber contribution for the annual chamber banquet. They've asked for $500 or whatever we can give them, I guess, but that's what we gave last year.
I did allow for that in moving money around.
I'd make a motion that we approve being the sponsor. I think it's worthwhile.
All right, we have a motion to approve the request from Marshall County Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $500. Is there a second?
I'm on the board, I have to recuse, Judge.
I'll second, Judge.
Motion and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Let the record show that Misty recused herself because she is on the board of directors of the Marshall County Chamber of Commerce. I believe, Misty, they're gonna kind of have the same format they did
That's
last year. There at the Commons, there at the high school.
That is correct.
Different vendors set up. It was a pretty neat thing last year, I thought.
Good
and,
fundraising effort for the Arts Commission as well, silent auction.
Yes.
Raised a couple $1,000, so.
All right. Any other business?
The meeting, we just gonna have one meeting.
Make it 1:30.
I think they're talking about the one meeting in December. Y'all just want to do the one meeting?
Yeah.
That probably works for you.
We can call a special meeting if we need to.
If we need to. So
I make a motion to have that one meeting in
we have a
December.
motion to have the one meeting in December, which will be the third Tuesday. If it's necessary, at the call of the chair, we'll have another one. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Any other business? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, guys, we'll be
Back
back
at 1:30.
this afternoon at 1:30 to go over our policy and procedure manuals, update anything we need to update.